good, my friends? How are you? Hope you're all doing well. So today we're checking out this strange title. Europe is a terrible country. I don't know what that's supposed to mean because Europe is not a country. So the title doesn't make sense at all. I'm pretty interested and intrigued to see what this is all about. I know that it's a very weird topic to talk about. But before we dive straight into the video, make sure to subscribe to my channel, smash the like button, hit the notification bell so you won't miss any of the updates in the latest video. And without further ado, let's get cracking.
I'm an American who just traveled to Europe for the first time, and I will never return to that country. Here's why. First of all, European cities are so obnoxiously anti-car. Their sidewalks are massive, so their roads are tiny, and parking is non-existent. Look at Madrid, Mexico, and compare it to Dallas, Texas. It took me hours just to park my Cybertruck once in Madrid.
But yeah, Madrid and Mexico, completely different country. They are not the same. Mexico is in South America, Spain is in Europe. So they speak Spanish. It's not the same. So it's completely different. You're comparing to Dallas, Texas. I don't know what he's on about, but yeah, I see his point of view.
In fact, I might have been the only guy in the entire country with a pickup truck. But the worst part about driving in Europe is that you have to stop for people crossing the street, which means it takes forever to get anywhere. And you'll have to go everywhere because they have no Walmarts in the entire country where you could be doing all your shopping in one place.
But yeah, you have Amazon. You have a lot of things here in Europe. Any country you go to, Germany, to Spain, to Portugal, to the Netherlands, they all have Amazon. I don't know why you're on about not having Walmart. Let's continue.
Driving on the highways is at least a little better, but watch out because they use a strange, archaic, and frankly xenophobic system of measurements called the metric system. So you'll see signs with kilometers per hour.
Kilometers. Sorry.
I think I heard someone say that 1 kilometer is like 1,000 miles or some shit. They also use meters instead of feet, which is stupid. The length of 1 foot is easy to remember because it's 1 foot. But 1 meter is hilarious. Like 1/3 of my entire body. You know, I'm not even sure if they count hours the same over there. Are European hours the same as American hours? Because every train I tried to ride in Germany was at least 30 minutes late, and once I was stuck in hell, I mean the Frankfurt Hauptbahnhof for 9 American hours. Our train system in the United States of America is far more comprehensive and efficient. And public bathrooms are a nightmare in the country of Europe. If you somehow find a spot to park, you'll need to locate a bathroom which will be marked by the insane WC abbreviation.
Yeah, he got a point here about the toilets here. Even though when I go in public to a toilet, I never go to a public toilet. Always I'll wait until I get home so I can actually do my douche. I won't go to a public toilet and do anything. I normally, just when I need to go, but I never go because it's weird to go to a public toilet and do that. So I can't understand his point of view here, so I don't condemn what he's saying here.
And these bathrooms are torture. In America, we have huge cracks in our bathroom stalls which make defecating an open, communal experience. But in Europe, the stalls cover not just the cracks in the side, but the entire doorway. So yeah, you can't make eye contact with other men while you do your business. I always felt so alone in those stalls. And don't even get me started on European food. They use natural ingredients which were very disruptive to the carefully artificial gut microbiome that I incubated stateside.
Yeah, I get his point of view of natural food. Sometimes it gets you a bit of tummy ache. Felt sick one time, but yeah, I get what he's trying to say.
Like potassium bromate and azobicarbonamide, which means their bread tastes like shit and isn't soft. I'd rather eat Wonder Bread than a giant stick of natural dog water.
One thing that I can say that breads here in Europe, they mold quickly, so quickly. You have to eat it up quick. You can't leave it more than a week without eating it because if you don't eat it, it will actually mold really fast. This is a point of view as well.
And Europeans don't even use butylated hydroxyniazole, which is my favorite synthetic petrochemical antioxidant, which keeps our food preserved well for thousands of years in America. They must waste so much food in Europe because it all expires expires in a week. And restaurants suck in their country because the waiters don't check in to see how you're doing every 5 seconds like they do in America. I'd like to keep my waiter updated.
About the waiters actually are very busy. They have a lot of busy schedule here in Europe. I went to Italy before, to Portugal, to Spain, and I know that a lot, when I go to a hotel, a lot of waiters are very busy with their schedule. They have a lot going on, so they can't actually give attention to you. They can guide you where you have to go, where you have to stay, but they won't keep long conversations because they actually on duty time. So this, I actually disagree. I don't agree because they're not there to have banters with you. So I can't understand.
At least you don't have to pay or tip or whatever. It sure didn't feel like I was paying with the Monopoly money they use over there. And the water in restaurants has bubbles in it. You'd think it would just be some textural difference with fizz, but no, the bubble water tastes like hot dog water. Thankfully.
Not true. Because first of all, the waters all taste the same in England, in Italy, Spain, the Netherlands, wherever you go, the water doesn't taste like hot dog water. So yeah.
They do still have good, nutritious food at a few normal and healthy restaurants like McDonald's, Burger King, Starbucks, KFC, and Chinese food. But their grocery stores are terrible. You won't find any necessities like Feastables, Twinkies, Goober, and they have no good breakfast cereal. And one time I asked
But we do have good grocery stores in England. So it's not in every Europe country, but we do have in some Europe countries. It's not common to have all these things from the US to Europe.
Worker at the deli if they had American cheese, and she stared at me dumbfounded like I had something wrong with my eyes. Politics are also terrible.
How's he doing that with his eyes?
There are dozens of political parties everywhere that try to represent all the citizens' viewpoints and create a fair and balanced democracy. That's disgusting and confusing. There are too many choices. We keep it simple with just 2 parties who always run amazing candidates, and if you look deep enough, they sort of are the same thing anyway, which makes things easier. Laws in Europe are also busted. I stayed in a hostel when I was there, which is like a prison for poor people who want to travel, and I was stuck with, and I kid you not, 30 drunk 10-year-olds screaming in Slovakian all night because the drinking age in Europe is 5, and their climate policy is absurd. Yes, I think climate change is a problem that must be resolved, but Europeans take it to the extreme. European water...
About the climate, it's actually weird because in winter it's actually very cold. When it's summer, it is very hot, depending which country you are. If you're in Spain, Portugal, Italy, Greece, they're normally very hot in the summer. But if you go to cold places like Scotland, like Slovakia, as you mentioned, as Russia, as Germany, Belgium, all these countries are very cold. So even on the summer, it's still a little bit cold. Actually doesn't change that much in these cold countries. It changes more in countries that I mentioned, like Spain, like Portugal.
Every water bottle has a cap that is fused to the bottle with some black magic, so it's physically impossible to remove it.
Of course you can remove it, because if you take the cap, you can actually drink the water. I disagree.
Apparently, if we keep the caps attached, the Netherlands won't sink underwater. So it's not even a worthwhile cause. And did you know that Europeans have free healthcare? That is outrageous. When I have an ailment, the last thing that I want is fast and affordable service. If healthcare is free, you don't feel like you earned it. I want to work for my healthcare. Crippling medical debt makes you a man. And I'm not even sure that they have medication in that country. I spent most of the day just sitting inside and watching TV, and I didn't see one pharmaceutical drug advertisement. How do Europeans know what to ask for from their doctors? Do they even have doctors? Then when you go to college in Europe, just like health...
We do have doctors, very good doctors. Yes, normally, I think in the US or Canada, you've got to pay. Or if you're sick, if you have something, or you injured yourself, you have to pay over there. In here, I know you don't have to pay for it. I've never been on the US or Canada, so I don't know much about it to know. But I know in Europe here, a lot of Europe countries, you don't have to pay it. You get your medical treatments. I understand his point point of view, what he's trying to say here.
But if it's free, where's the challenge? Where's the Sigma grind set? And you know how we have awesome Greek life at our colleges? Well, one of the states in Europe is literally perpetually LARPing as our awesome collegiate Greek life system. Europe just seems like the tutorial level. Everything there is too easy. They work much less in a week than we do, and they get tons of extended breaks and even like 30 days paid vacation. That's way too much. All Europeans do all day is pick mushrooms, smoke cigarettes, make fun of Americans, and smoke cigarettes.
My God.
Get back to work.
He's capping. This guy's hilarious. But I understand his point of view, what he's trying to say, that he thinks everything is too easy here in Europe, that we get a lot more privilege than the Americans actually have to work a lot harder than we do here in Europe. When he says Europe, he's mentioning a lot of continents. He could be referring to Germany, to Spain, to Portugal, to Greece, to etc. any country. So he's being a little bit biased about this, and I'm finding pretty much hilarious about it. He's basically saying we Americans work harder enough than Europeans, and we Europeans, we actually work hard as well. So I don't know why he's on about that.
And why do they have paid maternity leave? Give birth at your desk. That's what my mom did, and I turned out perfectly fine. Us Americans understand that money is the most important thing on the planet, so we sacrifice our quality of life to make sure we can get more into the hands of our billionaire CEOs. And their sports are so stupid.
Normally, European people doesn't think much about money. I know that in US, everything is money. If you do something, it's money. Everything is money. It's this and that, money for everything. And European doesn't think like that. They think a bit different. We work hard, but we don't keep thinking about money every time. But we do work for it financially as well.
Soccer is a soy boy, Wojak ass sport that nobody would be caught dead playing publicly in the United States. But Europeans love it.
To be honest, it's not soccer, it's football. The Americans always want to say soccer, but it's actually football. I hate that, man. They actually get on my nerves.
And the worst part is that they call it football, which makes no sense. Look, they're using their hands. What happened to the foot in the football? This is real football, cause see, he's kicking it with his foot.
Football is actually a tradition that came from here, from Europe. It's been here for a long time. It's not a sport that is from today. So for American, football is actually not a thing over there. It started to be a thing when, I feel like when Messi went there. Apparently, I feel like football actually started to grow more over there, but it wasn't a thing back then. So saying that you don't like football, I don't condemn you, because some people might not like it. It's not for everyone. But to say that football is better than American football, I have to disagree. It's more violent than the American football.
Real kings of football, and that's why we say we're world champs when we win the Super Bowl. And I tried watching one of their soccer games, and it was the most boring experience of my life. The score was 0-0 after 90 minutes. I'd rather watch Turkish oil wrestling with my gay uncle than this. And the last point I want to underline is that Europe is a scam. All my life I wanted to go to Paris. They said it was the city of love, full of art and beauty, but I was robbed within the first hour of being there. And I was repeatedly scammed all over the country. The only state of Europe that I even moderately enjoyed was Turkey. The American politicians were right. Europe is not free like we're free here in America. I'm never leaving Florida again.
Okay. This guy is very hilarious. I thank you so much who recommended me this. I knew I was going to agree with something and something I would disagree. I disagreed a lot of things that he said here about Europe. Him saying that Europe is a country, it's already a dumb title, because Europe is not a country. You can have a lot of countries like Portugal, like France, like Germany, like the Netherlands, Belgium, Greece, Turkey. So I understand him as American, very patriotic. And I can tell you, it's not for everyone. If you don't understand the rules, the policy, how it works here in any place here in Europe, you're not going to get used to it. It's very weird when you're born and bred in one country, you stayed your whole life there. I can't say it for myself. I'm used here to Europe, but if I go to a place like the US or like Canada, totally different for me. So I might like it, I might not like it, so it is what it is. It's actually normal. I don't condemn what he's saying because it's not for everyone. I appreciate my subscriber who asked me for this video, but yes, appreciate you lot. Stay safe, have a lovely day. So I see you on the next video, and peace.